made our way to beautiful Astoria, Oregon, right here on the banks of the Columbia River.
Very historic location for so many reasons.
But most importantly, Free Willy 2, the Goonies, and Kindergarten Cop.
But we're not here to play Siskel and Ebert. We're here to fish one of the most famous and popular fisheries in the entire Pacific Northwest, the Columbia River Buoy 10.
Heading out tomorrow real early. It's gonna be dark.
And let me tell you, we're not gonna be alone.
I think from the background that we pulled into a Walmart parking lot on Black Friday, but nope. Buzz, this is Drew.
Hey Buzz, nice to meet you. I'm Drew.
Hey Drew, how you doing, buddy?
Nice to meet you.
Hey, all right.
On this trip, we're fishing with Buzz Ramsey, fishing icon. Now he's not just your average fisherman. He thinks about this stuff completely different.
So this is where we are. This is the tide, the flooding tide that pushes the fish in. This is where a line is where we are, and then the first part of the outgoing tide is the best fishing.
Now I've fished a lot of salmon in my day, all up and down the Oregon coast. But the Columbia, the conditions, and you're with the professor, there's a lot to learn.
Once again, we're up early, trying to shoot a fishing show in the dark.
And that's why we.
In the name Wild Fish, Wild Places, we're usually going to wild and exotic locations. Well, on the Columbia River, we're taking wild to a whole new level. Like a zoo. It is a zoo out there. Friends out here. How you doing? Good to see you. How's it going? There's a lot of boats here. Expected run of 1.3 million fish, and I think today we got 1.4 million boats, so.
Local knowledge is key, but when you're fishing with somebody like Buzz Ramsey, well, just try to relax and take it all in.
Now y'all might be wondering what this is for. Buzz is gonna show you.
I knew breaking that food out would make.
Yeah, baby. Buzz says you want to sit back here and run the trolling motor for a minute so I can get you some food. Of course, I'm hungry as always. And I heard some weird noise coming from behind us. Not sure what it was. Tink, 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 tink. Oh, it's the rod bouncing. What was that? Was that a dolphin?
Kind of looked like a carp to me.
Carp. Oh!
Buzz Ramsey knows where the fish are.
Every time. We're moving out. We're trolling along, and Buzz has a spot because I got a little spot out here. A little groove out here by this sand island. Sometimes they stack up here and feed. We're gonna run out here. We're gonna make a pass. If it happens, it happens. If not, we'll go back to another spot. Boy, look at that big old hog.
Even when I'm not catching them, I love salmon fishing. You know what I'm saying, Buzz? Isn't it fun? They're just like powerful. They're like big and powerful animals.
Watch your head on the...
Swam right in there.
Yeah! Woo, nice!
Chinook they're identifiable by the big spots on their back, the black lower jaw, inside the mouth is black. And this is a hatchery Chinook because he's got this little fin here has been cut off at the hatchery. So it's a hatchery Chinook. It's raised in a hatchery and released out into the river. Now this is a Thule Chinook, so they're not as good eating as the upriver brights. And unless you guys are really panicked to take a bunch of fish home, I think we should let it go.
Okay. We've made our way to beautiful Astoria, Oregon, right here on the banks of the Columbia River.
Historic.
Hey, jumping from spot to spot. Why? Because if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Right now. With this train rolling.
One of Dennis's favorites.
Anyway, we're getting to bed early tonight.
The Columbia River is always known as having one of the largest Chinook runs. But what I didn't know is all the different subspecies of Thule's and upriver brights and the other one I can't remember.
Just caught a fish, and Buzz is gonna walk us through what kind of salmon different strains are on here.
So that was a Thule, what they call a Thule Chinook. And they're a lower river spawner. They spawn in the tributaries entering the lower Columbia. And they're good fish. That was a hatchery, and they want you to keep the hatchery fish for the most part. But we let it go because you guys probably don't want to pack a huge amount of fish home. And the upriver bright Chinook are actually a better eating fish.
And that's what we're after.
That's what we're really after. If you want premium, I mean, we're talking premium eating quality, it's the upriver bright stock.
Still got him. As far as you know.
Rod tip up.
Yeah?
Now
Okay.
Buzz is gonna drive, net, and clean the fish all at the same time.
Oh yeah. Ooh, look at that thing go!
Yeah. He's gone.
Don't get nervous, Dennis. You know what happens when you get nervous.
If you panic,
You get nervous, you lose.
Jesus, that thing's just taking line.
So you back up and it goes under the boat. Okay.
Bam! I didn't even lose him. Upriver bright. Oh, yeah.
Big one right there.
Yeah.
That's a fish. Woo! Man. Nice.
Little Coho! Little Coho!
Bring it over here.
Ready?
Yep.
Coming hot.
Don't hit me with the head. In the head with that thing.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him!
Oh, good. That was good. That was good. You got that on film, didn't you?
What did you do?
We're gonna have netting practice in the morning.
Dennis, netting lessons right before dawn. You're a netter. You don't worry about the weight. You don't worry about the hook. You did the fish. See what I'm having to work with here?
One fish. You miss netting one fish, and you never hear the end of it on the boat, and in the restaurant, in the car, and cleaning fish later. All right, I got the net.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Dennis is gonna net it. Now this ought to be good. That's the silver and it's a wild one. See, if it was a hatchery fish, it would have the adipose fin, that little fin between their tail and dorsal fin would be cut off. And then we could keep it. Can't keep it. That's a steelhead. Yeah.
That's a steelhead. God, that's a big steelhead.
Yeah.
Now look at this. You got him? I wonder what. Yeah, it's a white mouse. So you know those are steelhead because it got a pure white mouth, right?
Yeah, it's all white.
Steelhead. Nobody saw that coming. So the steelhead, if it was a coho, he'd have a black line on his mouth. You can see, Dennis, open his mouth up. See how this fish, it's pure white. He's not gonna bite you.
On the inside. So yeah, that's a steelhead.
So all white in there, so like a trout. This is a sea run rainbow trout.
That's the biggest steelhead I've ever
It's
seen.
huge. So, yeah, when you're confusing steelhead for coho, you know it's a giant. Let's get him back in the water. Nice big fish. Growing up as a little kid here on the West Coast, you always read and saw and learned and heard about Buzz Ramsey. And now I'm in a boat fishing with him. Let's give a kiss, Grandma! Oh, yeah. That's a nice fish.
Yeah, it's a beauty. Hatchery fish, got the adipose gone.
All the scales still on him.
Yep.
Specializes in making a ton of salmon and steelhead gear, but the salmon gear that we're running today, they make all that. Buzz is gonna walk us through. He's responsible for all this.
So what we're doing today is we're using a spreader. And this is really a new item. It's a spreader that keeps your line separated. So when you pick your line out of the water, you've got your weight dropper, you've got your flasher, and it keeps 3.5 inches of spread between those two so they don't get tangled. And you can rig it either fixed like this, where you come down and put a snap in each eyelet, or you can rig it free sliding. And what I mean by that is, on this rod here, we've got it free sliding. That way, when a fish runs, he can run, he's not dragging your sinker along. And then if you get the fish near the net and Denis is ready to net it for you and he gets a sinker in the net, you know, the fish can still run and you got a chance to land it if you put somebody else on the net.
Now that's a beautiful sunrise, but beautiful sunrises don't mean you're gonna catch fish.
One thing we noticed while we were fishing up here, we'd move to a spot, be all by ourselves, and within minutes, other boats start showing up, even if we weren't catching fish. Here we are again, working with tides, completely out of my comfort zone.
I am tangled up most of my life.
Are you?
I'm an expert when it comes to this stuff. Let me show you how to untangle.
Yeah.
When you spend most of your life tangled up.
We never saw that. Greg, you see that? Yeah. Holy crap. On the speed up. Awesome. That a baby Drew. Yeah, baby. Oh, you got a fish too. Oh, that's true. Oh, I thought that was both of them. Oh, you got one too. Taking me right. Get the net, quick. Hey, get that. All right. Oh, we're not killing any today though.
Let's go.
Ready?
Yeah! Now that's how you do it. You see how quick that thing came in the net, in the boat? That was like 15 seconds.
It swam right.
That's a new Columbia River record.
The hook came right out too.
Yeah.
Are we throwing it back?
Nope.
Keeping it? Okay.
It's a hatchery coho, so it's got the adipose missing.
Cool.
They actually want us to keep them, so they don't crossbreed with the wild fish.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, we're going to keep that one and
all right.
put him up there in a fish box.
Perfect.
And you can tell a coho from a Chinook. They got much smaller spots. The inside of their mouth, the bottom jaw on a Chinook would be black, where this is black and white. And
And they come at your jugular.
for example, the Willamette River, it was never known as a big coho river. They planted hatchery coho in there for years, but they quit it back in the 70s. Those remnant fish from those early plants have recolonized areas in the Willamette drainage. And we've had years recently where we've had 30, 40,000 fish runs back to the Willamette that are descendants of hatchery fish. But wild fish are important too. And protecting their habitats is important.
If you don't have the habitat, none of it'll work.
That's right.
But if you don't have one or the other, I feel like they've done a good job on the hatchery end, you know, making some fish and
Making some fish.
fish.
Now what they need to do
building
is
some
genetically engineer fish.
Yeah, like a tiger trout.
I didn't give him a chance to fight. I got him in the water, you know, tactics. The quicker you get him in the boat, the less chance you have of losing him. And then that happens.
We spent a good chunk of our day jumping from spot to spot. Why? Because what we figured out, if it was gonna happen, it happened relatively quick.
Woo! All of a sudden, Buzz got really serious. He said, Drew, get to the bottom. If there's one thing I know, it's how to bounce the bottom.
Don't back up. Don't back up. Knows how to swim right in the neck.
Because, you know what, Buzz, you and I are like the dynamite duo.
Hey, I'm standing right here.
Oh yeah, and Denis.
Let's be sure when we bring it in.
Another coho. So now we're checking to see if its fins clipped, to see if it's a hatchery fish, because they want us to take those out of the river.
Yeah.
Right, Buzz?
Yeah.
I learned something.
Hatchery fish, no adipose fin. Yay.
Yay. I'd like to say thank you to Buzz Ramsey for hosting us on this trip. But if you're a sportsman out there and you love this Pacific Northwest salmon fishery, then you need to tell Buzz thank you yourself. Filming this show with Denis and the boys is always a lot of fun. But being able to go out with a superstar of fishing, Buzz Ramsey, I mean, who gets that opportunity? And then he lets me catch fish on top of it. Always fun. Thank you, Buzz.
Atta baby.
There we go. Let's start talking. You want them over on that side, Buzz?
Depends what side of the mouth is it. It might be a little Chinook, actually.
Nice! Nice net job.
I took my netting skills from looks like a little Chinook.
Let's measure them to be sure. They got to be 24 inches here.
I'll tell you what, Denis is messing with his minnow. You and I should start fishing.
Get a big one?
And when you find the salmon, you can't waste time trying to get everybody else to reel in while you're reeling in a minnow. No, you shake that thing off so everybody else can catch bigger ones. It's a good eater though.
What do you think? 24?
26. To the fork or to the middle?
He's 22. We're going to let him go.
Okay. Here we go. Call him 26 though.
We found the school of fish. There's another one.
That's a better fish. I have to set up what's about to happen here. You're fishing up here in this neck of the woods and you've limited out. In my case, I've got a Chinook and a Coho. So if I hook a fish, I'm allowed to keep fishing, but if I realize that it's a Chinook, I've got to hand the rod off to somebody who hasn't limited. In this case, it's Buzz Ramsey.
Yeah. I got one look at you and he took off.
Again.
Keep it angling that way.
Yep.
Whoa.
Just like that?
Yeah, pretty much. Why don't you reel?
Okay.
Made me fish with his foreign gear anyway.
Here, you want to move on it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I swear, I had no idea that that reel was about to fall off. Sorry, Buzz.
Have fun now.
We got her.
It's a nice fish. We tried everything to lose him. That's a big fish. And judging by the size of the net we're about to net this thing with, is it gonna fit? Oh my God! Holy cow!
Yeah, baby.
That's a 40-pounder.
What do you think?
Oh man.
Is that a big one or what?